Hey, folks.
Hey folks, it's Honey,
And I.
and we're gonna tell you guys a little bit about us, about how we met, how old we were, where we met, a little bit about how long we've been together and married, and just so that you guys can get an idea of who we are and why we want to share so much with you guys. So, how old were we when we met?
11.
11. I think I was probably 11. You was probably 10.
I was probably 10.
I was visiting over my cousin's house, my aunt, and this pretty young thing lived two doors down.
Two.
Two doors down there and having a party. Nobody knows that song. I bet none of y'all know that song. Okay, wait. I'm gonna take that back. I bet a couple of our viewers will know who sings that song and probably even the words to that song. But
If you do, leave a comment.
leave a comment down below and make sure you tell us without Googling and cheating if you know the name of the song and who sings the song. So, anyways, she lived a couple doors down from my aunt, and I was going over there to visit my cousin and my aunt, family often. And I would see her outside, and she just, she was, she wasn't doing the stuff that I wanted to do.
I was a tomboy.
I didn't
I
want to.
still am.
Hey, she was the tomboy. I was the girly girl. And tell him why you said you didn't want to play with me.
Because she always carried a purse and a baby doll.
Always had a purse, always had a baby doll. And I swear, I would go to the store and spend my allowance and buy real bottles, real clothes, like onesies and stuff for my dolls. And I carried my babies around with me like I was the mother. I was the best mom out of all my friends and family when it came to taking care of my dolls. Okay? And you would even ask all my aunts and my grandma, like, we used to go to the thrift stores and stuff, and they would go find whatever it was that they was looking for, and I would come back, and my grandma would be like, okay, go find something you want, or my aunt would be like, go find something you want, and I would come back with baby stuff. And they would be like, you sure this is what you want? And, sometimes we would get like teacups and saucers and stuff like that, me and my sister, so that we could have our little tea parties and stuff. But I wasn't really worried about playing nothing but with my babies. But, anyways, she wanted to get in the dirt and the sand and, see how high she could jump off of the swing and all that. And I always been careful. Like, I damn near tiptoed when I walked. So I wasn't going to be, going all up high into the sky and jumping off of the damn swing and all that. So I would be sitting with my baby doll on the other side of the playground. And I thought to myself, she's cute. But I also thought, I'm not going to go play with her because I didn't want to get myself dirty. I didn't want to get my babies dirty. I didn't want nothing to come out of my purse that wasn't supposed to come out of my purse. And I just knew if I went and played with her, she was going to be the kid that probably put some dirt on me or try to disassemble my doll.
I would have.
And we would have had a fight.
I was ready.
So that's kind of how we met, but over the years we ended up losing sight of each other.
And then we went to school together, high school together.
We went to school together. And how did we end up talking in school?
I was quiet. I'm very introverted. She is very extroverted, and she would come in the classroom and she would shake her shoulders. She would say,
I go,
Barnes
and Barnes.
Because she had, at the time, she had the same last name as
My
me.
dad's last name was Barnes. So all throughout school, I went through school with that last name. And when I became an adult, I didn't realize that my last name was not actually Barnes. It was just, my parents put that on my paperwork at enrollment, and there was never any questions asked back at the time as far as like showing a birth certificate or anything like that at enrollment. Whereas now you have to show all of that. And so when I discovered that I wasn't actually a Barnes this whole time, it was from me going to get an ID because I got a job as a teenager, and they were like, we need your birth certificate, blah blah blah. And so I took it in, and there was a mistake. And so my mom had explained that, it didn't happen to where I was actually a Barnes. I didn't have the last name of my dad because they weren't married at the time of my birth. So, anyways, I would go into school, into class, and she would be so quiet, sitting like in the very, very back of the class. And I could never figure out why. And, I knew her previously. And so I wasn't like the type of girl, like a lot of people, they might have played with you or knew you from before you went to school with them, and then instead of them being down to earth and being real and being like, hey, how you doing, it's been a while, then they'll be acting like, I don't know her. And I wanted to let her know, I remember you. We always had close dealings, because my cousin was like a really good friend of her and her sister. And so I would say, Barnes and Barnes. And she was so quiet, she wouldn't even actually laugh out loud. She would just chuckle at me. And now that I think about it, I didn't really know her that well then. But at the time, if I would have known, the way she was chuckling was like, this girl is stupid. And then I would, of course, ask her how her family
I
and
didn't
stuff
think
was.
she was stupid. I just thought she was crazy.
Yeah, but what else did you think?
Because I wouldn't really, speak to her like that, but every time she seen me, she would do it. And
And guess what,
I
y'all? It's true. Barnes and Barnes. Show 'em, show 'em, show 'em, show 'em, show 'em. Barnes and Barnes. I knew it. I
no.
spoke it into existence, y'all.
She just wanted to be a Barnes again. She didn't want to marry me.
Yeah, that's what she says. She'd be like, yeah, you just wanted to marry me so that you could get your daddy's last
tried to
name
tried
back.
to steal my name without paying the dollar. Pay me my money.
Paid plenty of dollars.
Anyways,
Just kidding.
yeah. So I always thought she was very beautiful, but I never really spoke up to her or anything like that because I wasn't that type of person. I didn't speak very often. So I
I'll
was
call
just
myself
there.
trying to bring her up out of the shell because I was like, I've seen her, at a younger age be wild and crazy, so to speak. Excuse me. Wild and crazy, so to speak. And then to reintroduce ourselves or to re meet later, and for her to be so quiet. I mean, I know it had been years and all that, but I was just like, I know you ain't really quiet like that. So I'm gonna make you laugh. You gonna talk to me. Barnes and Barnes. So, anyways, I would get in trouble every day from the teacher because he would be like, why are you messing with her? And I would say, I'm helping her. I'm helping her with her work.
I wasn't helping nothing.
I wasn't helping nothing. I was over there trying.
Talking.
Yeah, talking. I would be talking. I'll be asking her how was she doing, how was her mama doing, even though I asked her 2 days before that, but I was just checking on her. Plus, I have friends of all types, and I didn't want anyone to ever feel like just because you're the quiet kid or just because you're sitting in the back of the room and you're not in the front of the room or you're not as outgoing as me, that, you know, you don't have a friend or that you're forgotten. Because I mean, I loved everybody, really. I had friends in all kinds of groups, but I just, like I said, it meant something to me to make sure that she knew that she was important to me. And then after school, what happened?
Uh, she, her best friend happened to work with my sister and knew her, and so she knew my sister, of course, from us growing up together, and so she called her best friend and told her best friend, and she is sexy. Tell her sister that I need her number. And then she said that she had my number for about a week, and then she called me out the blue and asked me did I know who she was, and I told her no. And then I was not gonna answer because I didn't know the number, and she's lucky that I picked up.
I'm lucky.
I'm just playing. No, I really wasn't gonna answer though. And then when I did answer, and she told me who she was, I told her, "Hey, how you been?" Blah blah blah. Just talking to her, and then I told her that my goddaughter was just born. This was back in 2006, y'all.
2006. That's when
So
we met again.
and got together.
The
But
third time. 3 times a charm. Oh my gosh.
I don't like odd numbers.
I love odd numbers. I really do. We go back and forth about
Besides
this
seven
all
is
the
my
time.
favorite number.
But that's going to be another subject for another video. But I swear, I love odd, and she's crazy nuts about even. She goes to the store, she gets me my drinks, and she says, "Honey, how many do you want?" And I say, 3, and she comes back with 4. Or I say 5, and she comes back with 6. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, we just went to the store before this, and we had our couple of our god kids with us. They were looking at me and they said, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "She's crazy." Because she can't. I asked her for 5 and she came back with 6. And I said, "Help me, Jesus, please."
Everybody who knows who the crazy one is.
No, because even when we get like the volume on the TV and stuff, if you have it on 34, I have to turn it to 35.
Can y'all please comment down below and tell me who is going to have the volume or the radio or the heat or the air conditioner 75. Or whatever on an odd number? It drives me nuts. It doesn't make sense. How does that make sense?
I don't know why I love odd numbers. I never pick even numbers ever.
Nope.
But I don't have a lucky number or nothing like that because I don't believe in luck and, anything like that. So
I don't believe in luck. But anyways, so she gave my sister gave the number, and she called me, and then we was talking. I told her about my goddaughter being born, and she told me everything about my goddaughter, and I said, "How do you know?" And she said,
"I knew it all."
She ran into my goddaughter's dad at the hospital, and so they ended up talking, and she just put 2 and 2 together. And so
I knew all the details, all of it. I told her before she told me the story. I said, "Was the baby born at this time? Was she this weight? All this." And she was like,
well, before she got my number though, she seen me up
but
at
I'm
the
not
hospital.
A stalker and I'm not psycho. I was given the information.
She went hunting. But
I just went hunting for the phone number. That was it.
I mess with her all the time and tell her she's a stalker. She stalked me to get me because she chased me down. But she was coming out of her job one day at the hospital, and then that's when she seen me. She spoke to me. I spoke to her. I spoke to her little sister, and all that. And then she got my number. She called me, and then she said, "Let's hang out." And so went to her apartment, and we hung out that night and all that. So that's how that
That's
happened.
another story time. If you guys want to hear about that, comment below. Let us know if you want to know the story of the very first night that we hung out, after we
She
met
was
again.
embarrassed.
I was, oh my gosh.
she was
Oh,
she was outed by her best friend.
I'm telling you guys, I never got to come out to nobody straight up. Like, my dad found out from my ex. She found out from my best friend. My mom found out from my sister. Like, damn, can I tell somebody?
She wasn't trying to tell nobody, so
I
everybody told
wasn't
for
trying to
her.
tell. I wasn't ready to tell. Comment story time down below if you guys want to know about that. We'll let you know the details.
There's a whole bunch of story times, but that one is a good one.
I don't know if y'all are ready for that. But anyway, um, I was leaving my job, like she said, and she was on the phone outside, and I was just like walking out to the car. My mom was picking me up, and she had my sister in the car, and so um, I just happened to look because I wasn't expecting to see someone sitting where she was sitting at in the first place, because it wasn't like a sitting area; it was like rocks. And so she was with a friend, and I glanced, and then I noticed it was her, so I did a double take, and I was like, "Oh, hi." I didn't stop and hold a conversation or anything like that because I didn't know if she was on an important phone call or whatever. So, uh, then she kind of noticed, like it. I guess she thought about it as we were driving off, and then she was like, "Oh, like yeah, I know." And then my sister hung out the window and said, "Juanita."
I knew who she was, but
Oh, you
I
knew I
didn't.
was?
Yeah, I knew who he was.
Okay, but why did you act like,
I
was it just
wasn't.
because you were thrown
I
off
was
by being
yeah.
on the phone?
Mhm.
Yeah. But I got her number from my best friend, and we hung out, and then that was like, was that before the 4th of July, or
It was before.
it was like a couple days before, because I had a family reunion coming up. And so that was like one of the reasons why we couldn't hang out that day. But I think it was the next day that we got to hang out, and that was fun. We had a real blast. Just us two, her sister, and my best friend. And then, how long y'all think it took for her to move in?
Telling business.
No, no, no. They want to know. They want to know.
Mm-mm.
You don't want to tell? What you ashamed of?
Mm-mm.
Well, we're here 13 years later. Can't nobody say nothing.
And we got married on the first date.
Vegas,
No,
not.
it was a week.
She moved in after a week, y'all. Oh my gosh. And I never thought.
Her fault.
I mean, I just told her there ain't no use in you catching a ride and, going back home to wash your clothes and coming back, because she would literally leave while I went to work, and then she would come back as soon as I got off work.
She didn't want me to leave.
And so I didn't want her to leave. And so I was like, you should just bring your stuff. You should just come move in. And I guess I wasn't expecting her really to agree to that, but she brought a basket, and then it was the rest of her stuff, and it's been history from there. And so
All that jingling in the background is our dog. He's
my baby boy, he's over here chasing his tail, y'all.
he's special.
Mama's boy.
He's
Hello.
special.
Hi, Mama's boy. He's a good boy. He's trying to figure out, why are we talking to nobody? Where are the people y'all are talking to? Anyways, so that was like around July 9th. By the end of the time that she had moved in. And so that was deemed our anniversary. And so 3 years later, we got married on that date. And we are going to be married for 10 years coming up next July, and together for 13 coming up next July. And we had a beautiful wedding.
It's
like
just this July coming up. It's next year, but this July.
July 2019.
Yeah.
Just to be exact. But we've had good times, bad times, sad, happy,
indifferent.
Oh my gosh, so many disagreements, but lots of love. And I'm going to tell you guys the truth. Like, every relationship is different, but for me and for her, like, we always loved each other, but I just feel like as we grew and as we matured, we started to actually love each other more. And but she just still accepted me. She still loved me. She still, like, she really does so much for me. And you know, I would like to say that I have done a lot for her too. And sometimes people don't understand it. Like, how can you guys argue and fight, and or how could you guys have argued and fought and moved in and moved out and all that? Like, I don't know a relationship where people don't argue and fight. I don't know a relationship where somebody didn't say get out, and maybe they actually didn't mean it. So
excuse me,
we was just able to overcome a lot of the pettiness,
trials,
and now we are able to talk through stuff instead of blowing up in an argument about it. And
you learn about
communication. we just not only learned each other, but we learned ourselves, and so these last few years has been so much fun because of that, because we can get through just the pettiness, and everybody's like, it's not, I don't care what nobody says, it ain't for y'all to understand. Like, whatever works for us is what works for us. And so now here we are starting this channel, and we just want you guys to have a little bit of an insight of our life, our love, the fun times that we have together.
Just to enjoy us like we enjoy each other,
because we enjoy each other all the time.
Everybody says, you guys don't never want to do nothing. And it's not that. It's just that we love each other and we like to just spend time together, and we joke and laugh and, talk and just do all the stuff that probably everybody else will be thinking was boring, but we really enjoy each other.
We really enjoy each other, and you know how much we enjoy each other.
So now y'all get to see us.
We go on vacation. We pay for the vacation, and guess what we end up doing? Staying in the hotel.
Sleeping and swimming. That's what we do the whole time.
Sleeping and swimming. We miss breakfast every single time. And the crazy thing is we book hotels that serve breakfast only because I love breakfast, but we miss it every time.
I don't eat no breakfast for real. But she wants breakfast and she never makes it. Half the time I end up getting up and going down and getting her something and taking it back up to the room.
Yeah, and I mean, occasionally, like if we go on a family vacation or something like that, our good friends or our sister will call and say, y'all ready to go down? Y'all ready to go down for breakfast? Because they all have kids, and so their kids are up early. But I'll be like, yeah, I'll be down. And they be like, Juanita gonna come? And of course, she doesn't come. She stays. Her and Sharu, our dog, they'll stay in the room, and then I'll go down. I'll mingle for a little while, have breakfast sometimes, and then they'll be like, you gonna take Juanita something back? And I'll be like, okay, well, I'll take her a muffin or some donuts or something like that. But she's easy to please when it comes to breakfast because she's not a breakfast person. But that's how much we enjoy each other, really. We pay to go on vacations, and we don't do nothing really. We just relax and enjoy each other. Make sure you guys comment, subscribe, share. Let people know about us. Let us know what you guys want to see on our channel, what kind of content. Um, and just make sure that you guys be kind, be careful, and always be sweet. Love you guys. Bye.